The Knicks suffered just their second loss here inside the Garden. I'm here with SNY NBA insider Ian Begley. And Ian, the Knicks saying that they take accountability for the way they play. They don't make excuses for it, but they are coming off of a back-to-back. They obviously played in the NBA Cup Championship, so a big week for them. How much do you think the schedule attributed to their fatigue in this game?
Yeah, I mean, there's no looking around it. Third game in 4 nights, you go Las Vegas, Indiana, New York. And I think the NBA has something to look at here with the back end of the NBA Cup. I was even talking to a team that wasn't in it and got a ton of rest, and they said they felt out of rhythm. So they're hoping that, you can make the games a little bit more regular in the back end here. NBA seems like they've done a great job with the Cup, but I think there's some things to tweak, and I think the Knicks experienced that tonight. Tyrese Maxey, you don't want to see him on the first night of a back-to-back, but the second night of a back-to-back, just a tough cover. And then VJ Edgecombe, local kid, played really well late in this game.
One guy who was very much in rhythm for the Knicks was Mitchell Robinson. 21 points, 16 rebounds, shot 7 for 8 from the field and from the free throw line. How much of a difference maker was he in really keeping this team in this game for the majority of it?
Yeah, he was Mitch. He was having a Mitch Robinson game. Obviously, the offense isn't there all the time. The free throw shooting isn't there all the time, but he was rebounding the ball, blocking shots. He was just everywhere. And so when he can play like that, when he's healthy playing like that, he can impact games. They want him there in the playoffs, right? That's why they're kind of resting him here and there. He did not play the first night of the back-to-back. You're going to see that throughout the year, but they want that Mitchell Robinson in the postseason. That's why the Knicks have been pretty cautious with him throughout the regular season.
And now they get 1 day of rest, and they'll host the Miami Heat here on Sunday.
All right, Jastremski and Marc Malusis join me now for some Knickerbocker banter. Guys, rough night for OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson. OG only 2 points, Brunson 7 of 22 from the floor. So JJ, I'll ask you, they had the Cup, then they had the back-to-back games. Do you think this is, you chalk it up more to tired legs or something to be worried about with those?
I mean, how can you not? Look, they played the NBA Cup. They're playing these high-stress, high-intensity type of games. They're playing Saturday against a physical team in the Orlando Magic. Then you got to deal with Wemby and the Spurs and what he brings to the table defensively. Then, oh, by the way, you hang in Vegas, you party in Vegas, you go and play in Indiana on Thursday, and now you got to go play the second night of a back-to-back. You had to imagine, Moose, at some point it was going to catch up with this team. But by the same token, Mr. Edgecombe and Mr. Maxey were unbelievable in the fourth quarter. And we know that Maxey specifically has kind of had a knack for sticking it to the Knicks. So I don't want to take anything away from those guys, but not surprised with the tired legs.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2 great guards. I don't think you necessarily can overreact. I mean, it was a bad performance. Niki, I think you hit upon the stat. I mean, the Knicks were minus 27 from behind the arc. They shot 25% from 3. So, I mean, that's going to be an issue, especially when you go up against a Philadelphia team that shoots north of 40% from behind the arc. So we can look at it. It's still, this is a championship caliber team. We saw them win the NBA Cup, whatever kind of impact you want to put on that. It was a great victory for the organization. Now it's a building process and making sure you stay healthy the rest of the way. They had a little bit of a step back tonight. Not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to worry about. But one guy that looked really sharp in this game was Mitchell Robinson. Had 21 points at the season high in 26 minutes. Also a season high 16 rebounds. Moose, if the Knicks get this version of Mitch every time he steps on the court, what could that do for them?
Oh, I think he's a difference maker. I mean, I think that's it. The big question with Mitchell Robinson has never been ability. It's been availability. I mean, that's the problem when you look at Mitchell, is that when he's available, he's been impactful, and he's been a tremendous rebounder, a great defensive player. If you're able to get a little bit of offense from him, and you got it tonight, I mean, that's an absolute added bonus. But what Robinson is able to provide this team, there's not many other guys on this team, nobody really else that can do what he can do, especially defensively, especially on the glass. Now, if he's able to stay healthy, it raises this team to another level.
Well, that's the key. Keeping him right for when you need him the most. And that's why the load management, like you saw Thursday against the Indiana Pacers, is a must for Mitchell Robinson, because if you run him into the ground, you're not going to get peak Mitch in April, May, and June. And to your point, we saw the way he impacted that Celtics series a year ago, those second and third opportunities. The Knicks being as good as they are on the offensive glass, to me, is about Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart, with what they're able to do in getting you second, third, and fourth opportunities. And the Knicks defense, you guys know this. When Mitchell Robinson is not there, it's not the same. You got to make sure he's right.
Yeah, and they also need some of their other guys back. Let's talk about Tyler Kolek. He stepped into a big role. He had a really big game on Thursday, and then Friday, not so much of a great game, only 2 points. JJ, people either are really hyping him up or they're really low on him. How much do you think the Knicks are missing McBride and Shamet right now?
Well, you're going to miss those guys defensively. Tyler Kolek has looked the part offensively. He's a good passer. He could shoot the ball. You watched him in Marquette. He was a good college player. But you saw the way, Moose, Philly attacked Tyler Kolek. They went after Tyler Kolek. And simply put, Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet are better defenders. I think there's a role for Kolek on this team. I give Mike Brown credit for kind of developing him over the first 2 months of the year. But, yeah, you miss him.
Well, yeah, he's an offensive player. I mean, he was at Marquette collegiately, and he's going to be that in the NBA. So, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, right? So when he's on the court, if he's not producing offensively, well, then he's going to be a minus defender, and you're going to see teams that have good guard play that are going to go out there and attack Tyler Kolek. So do they miss Shamet? Do they miss Deuce McBride? Of course. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But in this stead, you get the opportunity, if you're Tyler Kolek, to develop some sort of a role, build a little confidence, gain that experience, give Mike Brown credit for the availability there. And the minutes that he's given Tyler Kolek, he's taking advantage of that, but he's a plus offensive player, a minus defensive player.
Listen, I love the work Mike Brown is doing, though. I like what we've seen so far.